All right, everybody, welcome to Qualifiers for the 1v1 F15 exhibition tournament. Right before we get everything started, we're going to go ahead and go over the rules. What staff say is final. No cameras or personal mirrors are allowed while flying. If you crash during takeoff, you get one rematch before losing the match. Weapons hot after merge. A merge is when you and your opponent cross each other's 3-9 line. After killing your enemy, you must show you can survive your last maneuver or that you have the means of returning to level flight. There is an audio cue. When you win a match, exit the plane immediately after recovering from your last maneuver. The first match you lose puts you in the loser's bracket. Losing again eliminates you from the tournament. If you are matched with a player you have blocked, you need to unblock them for the duration of the match. Failure to do so will result in being disqualified. If you collide with someone during your match and they survive, you may ask for a rematch, but they are not obligated to accept and would be named the winner. The use of software that simulates key presses such as auto hotkey are strictly prohibited. If you are found using any type of software that makes inputs to your aircraft's flight controls without the need of your own effort, you will be disqualified and possibly banned from future competition. If you disable your opponent's aircraft and then crash or leave yours, and they manage to maintain control, land, or make it back to the airfield, they will be named the winner. Confirm your kills. You must compete under your own account. If it's found you are signed in under another user's account, both yourself and the original user will be banned from future competition. All right, hey, with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get this shindig started. First things first, both of them are not here. Cool, what a strong start. So we get to go on to our next match. Can I get the Gay Agenda versus Tiohu? The Gay Agenda, I'm going to have you go pink. Tiohu, green. Not to say, I know you're both here.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And off they go. Agenda is punching above her weight on this one right now. She's been practicing a lot, but Tiohu's far more experienced and far more practiced, not only in these planes, but also just in BFM in general. So this is going to be a pretty significant challenge for her, but we have faith. Although I'm pretty sure Tiohu's going to take this. Both aircraft making their way towards the center of the map. Agenda holding on to just a little bit more airspeed than Tiohu. Not a bad idea. It's an investment for sure, but, you know, one that she's going to have to capitalize on over a couple of turns. Both of them now meeting into the merge. Both of them going for a vertical approach. Gay Agenda with more of an aggressive angle, pulling in to get the nose on early. Not enough for Lee Tiohu, outrunning the nose and dragging her into the rate. Good move by him. He's got plenty of airspeed to do so, and is very quickly seeing himself outrun that nose even more, well within rate band, over the top of rate band, I would argue. Agenda not holding on to their speed too well. Flaps still down. Tiohu's got theirs up. He's holding on to a lot more speed than her, getting around the circle way faster, seeing winning cues now and turning the fight around after that first turn. Agenda really needs to build up her energy state here and try to go for a redefinition before Tiohu can get that nose on. Tiohu doing a really good job of holding off for now, wanting to get position more than gun solution right now. Looks like he's about to get it. There's lag, pure, lead, shots out, and that's Agenda's engine out. Agenda's still got control of the aircraft, a little bit of airspeed. She can roll it over. Maybe, no, but Tiohu's going to outrun that nose, and Agenda is going down. That is Tiohu for the win. Good job to the both of you. Very good. Tiohu taking victory in his first round. Very nice job. Up next, Shido versus, I don't think Ganuma is here yet. Let me check. No, not yet. Okay, we'll give him a chance to get here. So we'll go on. Okay, neither of them are here. Good Lord. All right, Polar Star Jack and Shadaron. Who is that? Who is it? Is it Doge Shadaron here? Good lord, you got every letter of the alphabet in your username other than Q and X. One more time for Doge Shadaron and Polar Star Jack. I don't even think either of them. Okay, cool. Congratulations, Polar Star Jack. You are going forward with that. Let's see here. Okay, this is the very next match we can actually run. Tiohu versus Energy Ace. Tiohu pink, Energy green. Quite a few no-shows already. Give both of them a chance to get to their plane. All right,
10,
let's
9,
see it happen.
8, 7, 6.
Once again, if you were
5,
confused
4,
about the block
3,
you're supposed to be
2,
in, or if you're
1.
confused about being in this block, just try to get my attention and I'll help you out as best I can. Off they go. This should be a really, really good fight. Both of these guys have been putting in a lot of practice. Both of them very well versed in BFM. You saw how Tiohu fought before. Energy, I think, is going to give him a run for his money. That's very close. It's a very close match. I've seen both of them beat each other before. So we'll see who takes it here. Both of them giving each other fight me flares. The traditional signal for come dogfight me, come merge. Energy burning in at a blistering amount of speed, slamming on the brakes to slow down to his merge speed. Both of them coming over right in front of us and into the center, into the merge! Energy starting with a little bit more airspeed than Tiohu. Much more aggressive climb than Tiohu as well. Shifted into lag pursuit. Tries to outrun that nose, and it looks like he just did, but not without taking a hit first. Coming back around at the top, shifting back into lag to try and avoid getting nose on, but he looks like he just outran the nose. Just Tiohu staying very aggressive right off the start. Very good first snapshot by him. Energy continuing to maneuver in relation with his opponent and dragging this into a vertical rate. He knows that, after that first and second pull, Tiohu was really, really slow, so he just ditched out into the rate. It's looking like it's helping him out here. He's gained a bit of ground over Tiohu. Tiohu back within rate band. He's got his energy back, but is it going to be enough to get away from Energy here? We will see. Energy's building up a really nice position right now. You can see he's slowly getting behind Tiohu. Still fairly neutral, but he's got slight winning cues over Tiohu. He might be trying to work an offset here. He can get a far range shot on him. But it looks like Tiohu has successfully got himself out of that pickle from being really high and really, really slow. He's gotten his energy state back and stabilized himself in this rate. Even neutralized it too. Good on him. Both of them continuing into the vertical rate fight. Energy with a little less speed towards the bottom. It's going to give him a tighter turn, or a tighter turn radius on the bottom than Tiohu, but with Tiohu holding on to that little bit of extra speed, he can use that coming up in his vertical, right? When he starts coming up, and then he can really start pulling as he comes over the top of it. Both of them settled in right across from one another in the circle. Tiohu regaining that little bit of ground that he lost before. Oftentimes you see people go get into that pickle and they just kind of flop around like a fish. They're not sure what to do. Tiohu did the right thing there. He got his energy back and very quickly neutralized the fight, or neutralized the position, I should say. Energy scooping up just a little bit more speed towards the bottom now. He was hitting that 300, now he's hitting right around that 310 mark, but Tiohu with 30 knots over him when he gets to the same position on the bottom of the circle. It's a double-edged sword. He gets more energy to work with, but he has much wider circle on the bottom. At the same time, too, rather have more money in the bank than less. So as the fight progresses, he could really use that to push his advantage, and I think that's actually what he's doing. He's kind of gained a little bit of ground over Energy right now. You can kind of see it in the screen when they go on their downward. Energy is slightly out front from Tiohu. He's still across the circle, but it is slight winning cues. You know, it's a start. Right now, neither of them are looking to get out of this vertical either. Very good start from Tiohu, by the way, like getting those immediate angles, and it almost worked out for him. You know, he had just enough energy to get out of that deficit that he was in when energy busted out into the raid. You know, he was fighting in the moment and you know, in the future at the same time. Something that, you know, it takes time and patience to develop that kind of skill. He's very fast along the top, almost hitting rate speed at the top. He was just underneath it, now pushing about 370 along the bottom. So much energy to work with. And honestly, I think what he's been doing is, like, you know, he goes for these long extensions along the bottom, then he's really yanking on the top. He could be working for an offset, although I think those wider circles on the bottom are not going to help him out. Energy's kind of caught up too. He's at 340 going around the bottom there, but you know, I'm not sure how much it's really going to help him. He's still slower on average around the bottom of that circle than Tiohu is. Both of them doing a really good job of hitting their margins, though. Pretty consistent as far as speed reduction and speed regain between the two of them. Also saw a couple people rejoin the instance as well. Could be some of our missing people. I saw Ganuma join. Hello and welcome, Ganuma, to the fight. Glad you can make it today. Both aircraft nearing the last third of fuel that they have here. I mean, they're probably checking their fuel gauges right now, and here soon I would predict that one of them is going to start displacing their lift vector, and this might transition into a roller. It'll be really wide, and there's a good chance to give up position doing that. But you know, when fuel becomes a factor, you start doing stuff to try to secure the kill a little bit faster. And it kind of looks like that's what Energy's doing right now. You can see as he's coming down, he's slightly out of plane with Tiohu, just slightly. You see how that smoke, the smoke trail was off to the left of the nose. Now it's to the right. He's displacing his lift vector placement right now. He's not quite following Tiohu to a T, but still maneuvering in relation with him, slightly out of plane. And just to change it up a little bit, he's realizing he's not gaining any ground, and he's running out of fuel, so now he's got to start doing something different, otherwise risk going to a fuel fight. And both of them right now are over the water and far ways from any land that they could safely make it to. It's not a bad idea to start putting the pressure on Tiohu. Good amount of offset between the two of them as well. You can see them sliding back and forth in each other's view. Coming down to the last bits of fuel. Huge lift vector displacement from Energy, or at least a bigger one than we saw before. Going slightly out of plane, trying to get Tiohu to react with him. It looks like it's kind of worked. Tiohu's still in lag, while Energy's going more to pure. Following each other's tails. Fuel critical at this point. Energy's at the top of the circle. Tiohu coming around the bottom. He's got plenty of airspeed, though. Is he paying attention to his fuel gauge? Coming around the top, this is probably going to be their last turn. Energy breaking out, recognizing he's almost out of fuel. Tiohu completely running out. Well, not completely running out, but getting very, very low. He's about to run out of energy, using the terrain to mask himself, and Tiohu's out of gas. Both of them are. Energy gliding towards land, or at least closer to land. He's going to try to set it down, keeping that mountain between him and Tiohu so, you know, he can shield himself from any incoming fire. Tiohu slowly starting to come down towards the water. Energy has made it to land. His gear comes out a little late, but he stuck it, and Tiohu's in the water. Energy parked at a really awkward angle and slowly drifting back, puts on the brakes. Oh no! I mean, I'm still gonna give it to him, but I just want to see if he can park that thing before it just slides into the water. Yeah, it's parked. Good job, Energy. We'll go ahead and kill that. Energy taking victory on that one. Remember, this is double elimination, so one loss is not the end of the world. Now that he's back, Shido versus Ganuma. Shido, pink. Ganuma, green. I know you're both down there. Yep, there you go. Give them both a second to get their aircraft. They gotta walk. They gotta walk that mile to it. Right, there we go.
10, 9, 8.
A little bit about these
7,
two. Shido's a bit new
6,
to dogfighting. He got into it more around New
3,
Year's
2,
of this year, just this past New Year's. But he's shown a lot of passion with it. He's been coming to BFF breakdowns and everything, taking note, and going to Friday night fights as well. Now Ganuma's been doing this for quite some time. I remember meeting him at the 4v4 F5 Squadron tournament, and he might have been competing beforehand, but that's what I mainly remember. That's where I mainly remember seeing him at. That was, oh gosh, last year? It was either last year or the year before. I think it was last year, very beginning of the year. But he has been doing absolutely fantastic over the water, not wanting to give each other exclusive turning room into the merge. Shido with a vertical into lag pursuit. Ganuma more to pure. Shido set up really nicely into the 2 circle. Settling in at rate band. Ganuma also getting there, but Shido's got a slight offensive position over him. Both settling into the rate. Shido extended just a little bit there. It looks like he's bleeding down now. Honestly, I think if he can hold on to his, if he could hold on to his sustained rate, he could work wonders right now. Ganuma pulling in as well. Bit of offset between the two of them. Shido continuing to pull and bleed his energy down. Ganuma holding on to it. You can see he's ripping around that circle on Shido right now. Holding on to his speed much more consistently. It's doing wonders for him right now. Shido needs to get some speed back or try to redefine this fight soon, because if he doesn't, Ganuma's going to catch up to him in this circle and end up gunning him down or giving him a missile, whatever he feels like doing. Got both of them here today. Aim 9s, bore sight, all aspect. Whole lot of fun. Ganuma continuing to resist the urge to pull Shido into the HUD and kill him right now. He definitely could. He's got the position for it, but he wants a better position and a less risky shot. Doing it to just follow his high 6, hold on to his speed, and get around the circle. Shido's now in a desperate situation. Ganuma's got him in the assessment window. Give it one more turn, and I bet you Ganuma's going to pull in for lead. Shido with a slight high yo-yo and into a low, trying to redefine the fight, but it's not aggressive enough, and he doesn't follow through with it, so Ganuma just follows him in that same plane of motion, flaps down, he's in the lag, cuts the burner to look after his closure. Shido, low yo-yo and a jink, anticipating a shot, but Ganuma didn't follow through with it. He didn't go for it. Continuing to stay in lag pursuit, following Shido's high 6, burner off and back on. There's pure lead, shots out, and he takes Shido down. Well done by Ganuma. That is Ganuma taking victory in his first round. Very nicely done. Okie dokie. River Storm or Sky Hunter, are either of you here yet? I didn't see River Storm join. Okay. Oh, I see someone. You're Sky Hunter? Yeah, okay, is that... I don't know why I don't know why your VR chat name entry and your actual VR chat name aren't the same, but cool. Glad we could get that confusion out of the way. Yeah, your opponent's not here, so you want to go Dragon Knight? Don't you go to the plane? Okay, dude. Give him a warning for now. He can either come back or he can get kicked. Okay, River, I sent an invite to River earlier, and they are not here, so Sky Hunter, you are going to take that. Up next, Polar Star Jack is also not here yet, but I did see Koronoko here. So, Koronoko, you will advance. Okay, well, I'll give the guy one more warning, and then and we'll get rid of him.
You are dead.
Okay. Let's see here. Crypto was just here. He was trying to say something to me, but what was Crypto trying to say? But he just left. Is he restarting his stuff? Is he coming back? Is he even online anymore? No, he got off. Okay. We'll come back to that one. Sky Hunter versus Ikazuchi. Sky Hunter, I'm going to have you go to the green plane. Ikazuchi, you're going to go to the pink one. Yeah, Dragon Knight, stay here. Yeah, there you go. You're good to spectate. Just stay here. I don't need you at the plane. There's spectator screens here for a reason. Give them both a second to get to their planes.
10, 9, 8.
All right, Ikazuchi's been doing this for a little
5,
bit.
4,
At least he's been around the community for a while, a lot longer than Sky Hunter has. I have no idea who this guy is, so I can't really say much about him or his abilities. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. Maybe he'll surprise us. In the meantime, I'll send Crypto a message and ask him what he's doing. Both approaching the center. Okay, I'll deal with that later. Into the merge. Goodness, homie. Merged so fast. Ikazuchi immediately cuts into their circle. Fox 2. And yeah, it force-fed him a missile. Good job, Ikazuchi. Taking victory in their first match. Okay, coming back to the Crypto Fam left. So, Gnuma, I'm going to give you that one. Can I get Koronoko versus Energy? Koronoko, pink. Energy, green. This should be another good one. Oh, is he? There we go. He's at this point now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Okay, like I said, this should be another good one. Koronoko's been dogfighting and competing for quite some time. Right around the same amount of time as Energy has been. I think Energy's got just a little bit more practice in this plane, though. Honestly, this fight could go either way. Seeing if I can find Crypto on Discord here, see if he's coming back or maybe he had to leave. Both of them on approach here towards the center. Energy passing right behind us. They both go into the merge. Taking a fairly similar angle in their first turn. Both of them into lag. Energy leveling out first. Koronoko holding on to a bit more of his speed, though. If I'm not mistaken, he's the one who won this tournament originally when the F15 Novice and Intermediate tournament was going on. So I'm sure he's got a lot of determination to defend his title as the F15 champion. Holding on to just a little bit too much speed, though, keeping his circle really wide. It's given Energy a lot of turning room to work with. Holding on to just a little bit closer to, optimal rate. bled down his speed just a little bit. Still continuing a slight climb, though. Energy hot on his heels, having built up a really nice position over Koronoko right now early on, and regaining his speed. Getting a little bit fast now. Koronoko responding by getting a little bit more himself, but that's a lot of angle off. Energy continuing to hold just above optimal rate and operating within rate band. Slowly working his way around this circle onto Koronoko. With all this altitude, I'm sure we'll start seeing some exertions happen because he used gravity to help them out in regaining their airspeed. That's exactly what it looks like. Low yo-yo from Energy, lift vector into lead pursuit, creating quite a bit of offset between the two. Still holding on to his speed, letting Koronoko go towards the back of his canopy. Another low yo-yo, cashing in on some instantaneous, slowly pulling him out towards the front of his nose. Koronoko holding on to a lot of airspeed, but he's not doing anything with it just yet. Energy with a big high yo-yo, cutting his circle down even more, coming back down to regain that airspeed. Koronoko going for a low yo-yo of his own, but Energy is slotted in behind him and very, very stable. As far as position goes, Koronoko's got to think of something to do right now. Honestly, he could probably do a radius defense with all this altitude that the two of them have. But the more that he just sits here, the more Energy is going to continue to build that position on him. You can see with every single turn, that nose is getting closer and closer to pointing at Koronoko's aircraft. It's becoming more and more dangerous. Koronoko flaps down. It looks like Energy's finally ready to commit. Big pull, trapped into lag, but he doesn't overcommit. He's holding on to his speed, regaining it, going in for another pull as he comes across the circle here, gaining much more position over him. Flaps back up, holding on to more speed. Koronoko going into the high yo-yo, trying to redefine the fight. Energy more than happy to respond, pulling in, shots out, quick snapshot, taking him down to half health. In another moment, another snapshot, shots out, and he takes him down! Energy claiming victory in his match. Very nicely done. That is Energy progressing in the winner's bracket. Good job. All right, up next, Ganuma versus Ikazuchi. Ganuma pink, Ikazuchi green. Just a reminder for everybody that it is top 5 of this who are going to finals. Doing that, we'll join Jono and Block C. Yeah, Drag. I don't need you at the plane, dude. Stay here. Didn't let you go before. I'm not gonna let you go now. Just stay here, dude.
Nine, 8, 7, 6.
Yeah, this
5,
one.
4.
It'll be interesting to see, but Ikazuchi's got his work cut out for him on this. Ganuma is very good at what he does. He's much more practice, much more experience as far as competition goes, so it's going to be a challenge, but I wouldn't count Ikazuchi out just yet. We'll see what happens here. Both of them off the ground and heading towards the center. Given Crypto ample time to come back, so we're probably just going to progress his. Well, I'll double check to make sure he's online, and he's not. Oh, sorry, Crypto, but we gotta. Oh, wait, no, into the merge. Ikazuchi slipping underneath Ganuma on that initial turn, getting nose on first. No snapshot though, keeping it in a one circle. He beat him in the first turn. He can beat him in the next one. Going into lag pursuit, kind of a mistake from Ikazuchi, giving Ganuma a bit of breathing room as they take it into the roller. Ganuma in lag pursuit, Ikazuchi following suit, and letting Ganuma pull him into the rate fight. Ganuma's so much faster than Ikazuchi is too. This is a really good setup for Ganuma, not so good for Ikazuchi. He started slower on the bottom than Ganuma did on the top, and he had to follow him up into that vertical. He's able to get his speed back, it seems, but I think Ganuma ran away from him just a little bit and even built up a little bit of a winning position on him. Definitely looking at Ikazuchi's burner in the top of his plane right now, seeing slight winning cues as he comes up over the top. Getting a very healthy amount of airspeed on his way down. You see the flames go down, he pulls in, cashing in on instantaneous rate, tightening down his turn radius, while also covering a lot of distance and position, gaining those angles over every single turn. Ikazuchi's going to have to think of something, and think of something fast, because if this keeps up, Ganuma's going to get his nose on, and then I'd honestly say the next 3 to 4 turns, every single one of them, he's getting closer and closer. Ikazuchi's continuing to get slower and slower. He's really got to think about something. He's got to use that altitude what altitude he has, to maybe try and get some airspeed back and redefine this fight, because this is not working out for him at all. There's a heavy offset. Ganuma is in a very, very much, offensive position over him. It looks like he's making his move. Plenty of energy. Shots out. Not enough to take Ikazuchi down. Ikazuchi hitting a reversal, but turning away from Ganuma. His lift vector wasn't on Ganuma's aircraft. He gave him more turning room, and Ganuma's just going to run away again into lag pursuit, back into the rate. This time Ikazuchi's a little high, but he's very, very slow. I'm pretty sure he stalled for a second there. Ganuma cutting the burner as he slots back in on the 6 of Ikazuchi, following him down into, good set of follow-on BFM into another offensive offset rate fight. Ikazuchi is really hurting for airspeed right now, and Ganuma looks more than comfortable to just sit where he's at as he watches Ikazuchi's plane get closer and closer towards his pipper and his HUD. Ikazuchi's in a desperate situation right now. He's got the speed back up, but he's in a bad position. If he's going to bring this back, he's really going to have to try and work a redefinition or something. Ganuma's got too much position over him right now to just continue what he's doing right at the moment. Might be able to get him to, if Ganuma's bore-sided on him, he might be able to get him to run into that pole. Here comes the big pole. Lag. Pure. Lead. Shots out, and that's Ikazuchi's engine as he tumbles out of the air right in front of Ganuma. Ganuma climbing away, wanting to avoid the aircraft that's tumbling towards the ground. And now it's done. Ganuma taking victory. Good job, Ganuma. Okay, with that, we're going to go ahead and go to the losers bracket. So, okay, well, Dota Shidoran, or whatever this is, are you here? All right, nobody stepped up, so congratulations, Sky Hunter. You advance automatically. Crypto also left and is not online. So, Agenda, you take that one automatically. Oh, here we go. Tiohu versus Shido. Tiohu, go pink. Shido, green.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Yep, Dragon Knight, don't need you at the plant. Okay, dude. Well, I both verbally told him and warned him multiple times, so we're just going to get rid of him. All right. Both of them making it to their planes. Let's get this match going.
8, 7, 6.
Shido's punching above his weight class on this one. Tiohu gives, like, at least what I would argue, people at the top of the skill ceiling a run for their money. And Shido's brand new. He's been doing pretty good so far, though. Like, small mistakes here and there, but his setup is great. Like, he can set himself up very, very good in the fight. It's just need to work on that follow-through. Both of them burning towards the center of the map. Shido coming in pretty fast, but he's starting to slow himself down, getting closer to his desired merge speed. Tiohu doing the same exact thing. Shido's just a little bit faster than Tiohu is. We'll see how he does it in the merge. Both of them nose to nose. They see each other pulling into one another. Pre-flare from Shido. Gets his nose on first. Not enough for lead. No snapshot taken. Tiohu climbing up over him into a big displacement roll. Still in lag pursuit. Looks like Shido's going to try to keep him in the roller, but he's really, really wide. He's giving a lot of room to Tiohu, making it easy for him just to stay in that lag pursuit and force him into the rate. Tiohu setting himself up into a nice slight offensive position. over Shido. Shido's still got a little bit of room to work with here, but I'm going to guess it's going to close pretty quickly, given how the both of them got set up. Tiohu went into this vertical already slightly offensive and with a little bit more speed. Goodness, he's blistering along the bottom of that circle. 355 knots, very fast. Shido, not too much slower on the bottom, but still about 10 or 15 knots slower than Tiohu was. We'll see how this develops. For the most part, looks like he's neutralized the fight. He's got Tiohu across the circle from him. At least it's more neutral than it was before. Tiohu, I think, still has a slight winning position over Shido, at least at the moment. But Shido does have some breathing room to work with right now. Honestly, if he's recognizing, that Tiohu's winning right now, he could, again, go into those slight lift vector displacements, try to force him into a roller. We got plenty of altitude to do it as well. Not a whole lot of terrain immediately in the vicinity to make it a factor either, which is unfortunate. Usually, like, you get into these situations where it's neutral. If you have like a hill or a mountain or something, you break line of sight and change the direction that you're flying. Really mess with the other person. Give them something they're not expecting and meet them nose to nose on the other side of the hill or something. I mean, you can't really react to somebody if you can't see what they're doing. Tiohu more than happy to continue into this raid, having built more and more position over Shido as it's gone on. You can see Shido getting further and further out in front of Tiohu's aircraft the longer this progresses. Again, another reminder, top 5 today. There will be a 5th place match here, and then we will be joining Block C. Block C is going to be used as our finals block today. Also following today's tournament, there will be a test of a new world coming out by V-Tail. He asked for some stress tests assistance. So if you'd like to check out a new world that he's making once this tournament is over, once finals is over, feel free to stick around. There'll be a portal dropped by them, and he'll take us there. In the meantime, we've been yapping about that. Tiohu's built himself a much better position over Shido. Slight offset between the two, and it looks like he's going to try to go for it here. Flaps down, yanking in, using gravity to help him out. Lag, pure, not enough for lead. No snapshot taken. Shido hitting the reversal cue, getting his nose on first, shots out. Oh my god, no way! No way! Shido hitting the reversal of a lifetime and taking Tiohu out with such a good snapshot. Oh my god! Oh, that was fantastic. Unfortunate for Tiohu, but absolutely fantastic. That was awesome. Okay, neither Polar Star Jack or Reverse Stormer here, so Polar Star is going to advance. Up next, Sky Hunter and Agenda. Sky Hunter, I need you to go to the pink plane, and Agenda, go green. Oh my lord! I'm glad I was recording that. That was such a good snapshot. Yeah, homie, don't worry. We'll add that to your highlight reel. That was fantastic. Do more of that. Goodness. Still waiting on Sky Hunter to get to his aircraft. There we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And off they go. Given how the last match went for Sky Hunter, I'm just going to make the prediction that Agenda's probably going to be taking this match. Both of them are relatively new to competition, but Agenda's been practicing not just, in these planes, just in general in BFM. Slowly learning it. It's been showing, too. In the F100 tournament, she didn't do too bad. Got a lot further than I thought she was going to, so, it was nice to see. We'll see what she can do here. Both of them burning in towards the center. It looks like Sky Hunter is going a lot slower. He's still got his gear down. Flaps are down. No burner on. Okay, he's going from going too fast to going too slow as they both go into the merge.
Merge.
Both of them taking a vertical approach. Sky Hunter with a very slow turn, getting their nose, not even pointing their nose at Agenda when they initially turned. Agenda going for that second vertical, knowing Sky Hunter merged very, very slow. They're not going to be able to follow her up there. Sky Hunter getting that energy back, but Agenda's got her nose on. Shots out. Fed him a missile. Knocking him down. Good job, Agenda. All right, Agenda goes forward. Up next is Shido, congratulations. Polar Star Jack is not here, so you will be advancing automagically. Up next, Koronoko versus Agenda. Koronoko, pink. Agenda, green. Just a reminder, whoever loses this, stay here. The loser of this is going to have to fight for 5th place. Oh, I should have killed that plane. That's okay, it'll respawn. By the time she walks up there, it'll be respawn. It takes forever to cross that distance on foot without sack flight. Ah, yeah, see, there it is, and boom.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Yeah, no, this
3,
one's
2,
heavily weighed in Kornoko's favor. Again, previous champion of this tournament when it originally was hosted, and has also been dogfighting for quite a bit longer. I think Agenda's been in the community longer, like it's been around a lot longer, but hasn't been dogfighting for nearly as long. We will see what happens. A lot of people are forgetting that there are missiles on these aircraft, so we're not really seeing anybody jamming the Wes, pre-flaring, or anything else like that. We'll probably see that a lot more in the finals bracket. Both of them on approach. And into the merge.
Merge.
Fairly similar as far as merge speed goes. Lag Pursuit Agenda going into a more vertical approach with Koronoko in a more diagonal. Giving up just a little bit of turning room to Koronoko, though, on that initial turn. They kind of turned away from Koronoko on that. Koronoko was more than happy to take advantage of it. Agenda taking their nose down, pulling back in. That's a missile on Agenda, and she doesn't see it coming! Koronoko taking her down. All right. Agenda, you're not out just yet. We're gonna need you and whoever loses this next fight to compete for 5th. So Ikazuchi and Shido, I need you both to go up. Ikazuchi pink and Shido green. Whoever loses this, you'll be fighting Agenda for 5th place. Once Shido gets their plane, there we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, Ikazuchi's been in the community for a lot longer. I've known Ikazuchi much longer, but I think Shido has committed to learn. You know, I can't even say that. Honestly, this could be a fairly even match. I don't remember if Ikazuchi's competed before. I think they have. I could be completely wrong. You know what? We'll leave it. We won't leave it to speculation. Let the aircraft do the talking. The old MiG-29. Okay, no, that would make sense. Good old MiG-29, where you merge at 1,000 knots, yank everything you can to try to get a missile off first on the other guy. That was before my time. Both of them on approach and into the merge!
Merge!
Taking a fairly similar approach. Ikazuchi more into lead. Overshoots, though! and misses the opportunity for a snapshot on Shido. Shido going to lag pursuit. Looks like they're going to try to take them into the rate fight. Ikazuchi way slow, but also up top. They're more or less stationary. Shido pulling in, nose on, missile out, snapshot from Ikazuchi. Joust with different weapons. Neither of them taking a hit. Shido staying into lag pursuit. He's taking him into the roller. Now they're transitioning into the vertical rate. Ikazuchi starting much slower and defensive against Shido. Let's see what Shido can do. Is he going to be able to work this position that he's got right now? His flaps are up over the top. Now they're down, coming down, regaining his airspeed. Pulling up into rate around the bottom. It's looking like a very good setup for Shido. I mean, it already was. He started offensive over Ikazuchi. Ikazuchi building up their airspeed as well. Along the bottom, looks like they're trying to go for like a diagonal redefinition, changing up the fight a little bit. They're recognizing that they're defensive. Shido performing some really nice follow-on BFM, just following him up and chasing the high 6 into a low yo-yo and back into a horizontal rate where they're set up with much, much better energy at more optimal rate speed. Ikazuchi a little slow right now. If they want to get back into optimal rate, they're going to have to extend and give up position to Shido, and they're already defensive. If they do that, that's going to, I mean, you know, if Shido hadn't bled their speed a bit, it would have given Shido a good chance to pull in and maybe take a snapshot, but that's already still offensive right now over Ikazuchi. Both of them, you know, high and low yo-yos with the terrain kind of affecting the rate, but Shido keeping Ika in the assessment window, holding on to much more speed than Ika can. Ika's getting very slow over the top right now, and he's dipping back down to regain that speed, but he's not regaining a whole lot, and not only that, he's going to start running out of altitude here in a second. He's going to have to do something. He's got a lot of terrain to work with. Shido pulling in. Little high yo-yo, so he doesn't overshoot their plane of motion, and just not having enough for lead. Ikazuchi queuing in on that, reversing their turn and taking him into a roller. Shido staying in lag pursuit, though, not wanting to give Ikazuchi the chance to redefine this fight. Dipping back down. Ikazuchi's very slow over the top. Coming back down over the top. Shido pulling in, shots out. No hits on the snapshot, surprisingly, but he's going to get another opportunity right here. That's Ikazuchi on the nose. Another couple of shots out. Ikazuchi taken down to half health, reversing his turn, trying to get Shido into the roller. Another snapshot from Shido. No hits on it. Ikazuchi desperately trying to get out of this defensive situation that he's in, but Shido's put a lot of range between them and Ikazuchi. That's a good tracking shot. And how did he not kill him? He took him down to a quarter health. Another snapshot. Not ending the fight yet. Ikazuchi bobbing and weaving, desperately trying to get Shido to close some of that range, but Shido's not having it. He's managing his closure very, very well right now, not giving Ikazuchi any breathing room. I mean, he gave him a little bit right here. Ikazuchi able to break out into the rate. Now Shido's the one that's slow, and Ikazuchi is building up the rate speed. He's already all the way across the circle. Shido back to rate speed. Still offensive, still has winning cues, but not in as good of a position as he was before, where he could immediately be shooting Ikazuchi. So Ikazuchi's got a little bit of breathing room right now, but it's not going to last very long. Shido's hot on his heels and is very quickly regain those angles. He's got a lot of speed here. Flaps down, big pull, reduce another big pull. He's trying to get him out in front. Ikazuchi holding onto his speed, outrunning that nose, desperately trying to prevent Shido from getting enough for lead. But Shido's very quickly regaining his position where he was before. We'll probably see in the next turn or two him taking another couple of shots at Ikazuchi. Ikazuchi's got a little bit of altitude and terrain to play around with right now. He's got to do something quick because Shido's going to get his nose on pretty soon. He's stuck in lag right now, but he's not going to be in this next turn. He's got plenty of airspeed. Ikazuchi pulling in desperately and way too slow. He's not offset. He's not displacing his lift vector placement. No lower high yo-yos. No break turns into different directions. Just letting Shido build that position on him. Shido watching Ikazuchi get further and further out front. He's got a ton of airspeed to work with now, and they're coming down. That's flaps down, lag, pure lead, and he finishes him off. Good job, Shido. Goodness, where was this at the beginning? Where was this at the beginning from Shido? I want to see more of this. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get the 5th place match out of the way really quick. So Ikazuchi and Agenda. I need you both up there. Ikazuchi, pink. Agenda, green. Whoever wins this is taking 5th place and will continue on to finals. All right, let's get this started. This should be a fairly even match, I think. I think Agenda spent a little bit more time flying the plane, though, so we'll see how this works for Ikazuchi. A lot of pressure. Well, I mean, not really a lot of pressure. I mean, it's an exhibition. There's really nothing on the line. A lot of pressure to advance there. That's about all the pressure there is. Even that's not that much. Both of them turning in to meet each other in the center. Agenda having picked up quite a bit more speed. They've got their flaps up right now. Less drag. Very fast. They're going to slow down, though, once they get towards the center. Ikazuchi settling in at a pretty nice, comfortable speed. Just cruising in, just below 400 knots. Not a bad starting speed at all in this plane. Agenda slamming on the brakes. That way they can get back down to their merge speed. Into the merge! And they ran into Ikazuchi immediately, so that is going to be a rerun. Both of you, go back to your aircraft, and this time don't run into each other. Also, it just occurred to me too, I was thinking of somebody else when I was referring to Ikazuchi has competed before. I'm pretty sure they were in the F-16 tournament. They've been in they were in the F-15, F-16 4v4 team tournament when that happened. They were in the MiG-15, if I'm not mistaken, as well. They've been competing for a little bit. My apologies, Ika. Getting your level of experience incorrect because I was thinking of somebody else. Once again, both of them burning in and heading for the center. Made visual contact with one another. Looks like they're setting up the merge right behind us. You can hear them both coming in. Ika settling in right around 390. Agenda wanting 360. As they both go into the merge.
Merge.
Both going for a vertical approach. It looks like Ikazuchi's pulling in a lot more. Nose on first. Missile out, but Agenda flares it. Dipping into the vertical rate. Or at least it looks like they're going for it. Holding on to a lot of their energy. Ikazuchi's very slow across the top. Agenda recognizing that, yanks in. Not enough for lead, though, to get a snapshot, but they established themselves into a nice offensive position over Ikazuchi. Ikazuchi, though, has broken away and regained a lot of their airspeed. Agenda right now is working on getting their airspeed back as they settle into the horizontal rate. And the time it took them to get their speed back, Ikazuchi has ran away and neutralized this rate fight. Really good job holding on to their speed. Agenda getting a little too fast. Got to be careful with what you say here. They're so close. Like, once they come over the stands, just like Ikazuchi is right now, they can probably hear us. Ikazuchi having built an offensive position over Agenda. Agenda hitting a high yo-yo or vertical redefinition. Ikazuchi following suit. Agenda dipping down into a low, trying to upset the geometry of this fight or redefine it in some way, recognizing that they were defensive. Ikazuchi just following their high six, committing to follow-on BFM. Good choice by them. Keeps their position nice and stable. They're already in winning position. They're almost in the assessment window. I would argue that they are. Just a little bit of range they need to close before then, though. Settled into this awkward. Ikazuchi displacing their lift vector just for a second there as they go to yank. Agenda with their own exertion, avoiding giving Ikazuchi enough lead to shoot. But Ikazuchi's got a big position right here. Agenda's slowly closing the range between them, but she's very, very slow. Ikazuchi pulling the nose in. Pure lead shots and takes Agenda down. Good job, Ikazuchi. All right, so Ikazuchi takes 5th place and will be advancing. From here, let's get Koronoko versus Shido. Shido, you're gonna go pink. Koronoko, you're gonna go green. Give them both a second to get to their aircraft. All right,
10,
let's get it started.
9, 8, 7.
Once again, once we're all done here, we'll be joining Jono in Block C for finals. That's Block C for finals. Both of them off the ground. Once again, Shido is punching above his weight class, but we've been seeing him have some spectacular moments today. We'll see what he can do here. After this match, we will go back to the winners bracket, then back to the losers, and then back to the winners. We're going to see an overwater merge this time around. A little risk associated with that when fuel gets low, because then you got to run away and try to land somewhere. Into the merge!
Merge!
Shido with a bit more airspeed coming into that, going to lag and pushing the rate. I think that's the 100% correct thing to do, but it looks like Koronoko held on to a little bit more of their airspeed into that merge. Shido extending very far, giving a lot of turning room, but also gaining a lot of airspeed back, settling into a hard to say. Fairly neutral position as they both go into a spiraling climbing rate. These can be a little bit tricky just because your geometry gets much, much smaller the higher up you go. And because it gets smaller, if you're trying to stay faster, you can actually lose position that way. So you need to be able to manage your climb, your speed, and everything else. Like your closure and all that fun stuff. Looks like Shido's gained a little bit of position over Koronoko. Not too bad, even though Koronoko's holding on to more airspeed, Shido is able to clear their circle a bit faster. That's a result of the climb, their turn, and everything else all at the same time as they go up, uppity up. Settling in at rate. Koronoko's still a little bit wide in his climb, but he could use that energy later on. Shido just aiming for the high 6 and following up. It looks like Koronoko's actually ran away just a little bit. He's regained a little bit of ground. Shido having gained a little bit of speed as well. Small exertion from there at 330. Now they're down to 320. But still having that little bit of extra speed, to work with isn't a bad thing. Like he's extended just a little too much now, creating too much angle off. We talked about this before in BFM Breakdown, where you're in the rate with a guy and you think you need to be faster and faster and faster, but then your turn circle becomes way too wide and they start outrunning you because now you're not optimally rating. So what's just happened is Koronoko settles in up over top of Shido and into the rate. Shido with all this energy now going into what looks like a low yo-yo. Slight low yo-yos. Koronoko pulls in from over top. That's lag. Not enough for lead. Shido with the reversal. Not quite committing to it as hard as I think he should have, but still reversing it nonetheless. A good reversal cue by him. Cost him a lot of airspeed for no position as Koronoko pulls in from over top, shots out, and takes Shido's engine down. That is Koronoko taking him back. Congratulations, Shido, on making it to finals. There still. Okie dokie. So Koronoko advances on that one. Let's get Energy versus Ganuma. I'm going to get Energy to go pink and Ganuma green. So as it stands right now, we have Ikazuchi, Koronoko, and Shido going. Shido and then Energy and Ganuma going to finals. This is just to see who's going to win the block.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And off they go. This should be a pretty good match between these two. Although I think Energy's been practicing just a little bit more than Ganuma. I'm not really sure. Ganuma's he's in a different time zone than me. Both of them heading towards the center. Energy keeping himself tucked in over to the right side, wanting to merge over land rather than water. About to cross out right in front of us. Both of them meeting in the center for the merge. Energy with a little bit of exclusive turning room over Ganuma, maybe just a foot, staying into lag, wanting to avoid that head-on pass. Or the head-on joust, I should say, and settling into the rate. Both pilots yanking in, creating a lot of offset between the two aircraft as they pass by each other. Fairly neutral, but we'll see here as they both exaggerated with each turn. We're probably going to see a joust, not this turn, but maybe in the next or the one after. You can see that range between their circles getting closer and closer to one another. This neutral position, we'll see them both take shots at each other. We might even see missiles get employed head-on. Energy holding on to just a little bit more airspeed than Ganuma, yanking in. Actually kind of looks like Ganuma's starting to fall behind, just slowly. As I say that, he goes to yank in to get more immediate nose position. Both of them doing a really good job of holding on to the rate, or at least operating within rate band. Energy with a vertical redefinition, staying in pure pursuit, pulling in to Ganuma. Ganuma following on in response, maneuvering in relation with his opponent. Don't you go to that plane. Thank you. Both of them now tucked into the vertical rate with Ganuma having a slight offensive position over Energy. Just slight. Slight lift vector displacement for Ganuma cutting into his circle. They're both not perfectly in line, but for the most part in plane with each other. You can see Ganuma slightly out of plane as he comes up over the top and back down. Energy just committing to the high six, wanting to follow his movements, or his flight path. And there is River Storm. I apologize, homie, but you're a bit late. You're a bit late. And by a bit, I mean a lot. Still a little bit of displacement between Ganuma and Energy as they continue this vertical rate with each other. You can see Energy is just slightly out of plane with Ganuma as they both go up and down in this circle. We might actually, if they continue this and the range between them closes with each turn, we might actually see them go into the roller. Ganuma with a healthy amount of energy along the bottom of his circle there. Energy slowly starting to reel him in, or at least close the range between them. You can see he's continuing his lift vector displacement, starting to transition it into a roller. He's not quite following Ganuma's flight path, wanting to keep the geometry split up and awkward. Ganuma with a couple of flares, just then anticipating that Energy might yank in for nose, and we might see it here. Nope, stuck in lag, but he's slowly getting that position. Ganuma reversing his turn. Looks like he's going to commit to the roller now with energy, putting the pressure on him. I guess it's just too much in energy. Dipping into the... He extended back out into the rate. That's fine. Still quite a bit of awkward alignment between them. Energy now in pure to lead, wanting to keep this roller, or at least not let Ganuma run away into the rate. Although right there, I'd argue that Ganuma just did. He's put a lot of range between him and Energy. Energy still continuing to displace his lift vector, hoping to get Ganuma back into that roller. He was getting some immediate position, but we'll see what he can do here, because he pulls in a lot of offset between the two as well. Ganuma with a redefinition of his own. Looks like he's going to try to pull in both of them, yanking in. We're going to see a high... Oh, my lord. Close to nose-on pass. There's a lot of offset between the two. This could, continue into the rate, but I think on this next one, where we might see a joust and a redefinition into the one. Quick snapshot from Energy. No hits, it looks like, though, as he goes into the vertical, pulling that nose around and down. He's using gravity to help him out. That's nose on. Shots out, and he takes Ganuma down. Good job, Energy. All right. Energy advances there. We're going back to the loser's bracket. Can I get Ganuma versus Koronoko? Ganuma, pink. Koronoko, green. No matter how these ones go, everybody who's qualified for finals is, set in stone for here. Just finish the block out, and then once Block C is all done, we will go join them and run finals.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And off they go. Fairly similar, almost exactly the same amount of practice and experience between these two. If I'm not mistaken, these two, they both started competing at the same time. So it was that F5 4v4 squadron tournament, and they were on the same team as each other. I remember practicing with these two a lot. It was a lot of fun. A lot of great fights were had. Looks like we're going to see another merge over the water. Koronoko ensuring that it's going to happen pretty much. You saw he took a little bit more time to turn directly into Ganuma. Ganuma now passing over the water as we go into the merge. Merge! Ganuma with a little bit more airspeed, cutting his burner and yanking in, trying to get nose on first, but Koronoko gets his nose on first. Quick snapshot takes Ganuma down to 3/4 of his health. Ganuma having a bit more airspeed than Koronoko, settling into the rate. Koronoko yanking in desperately, trying to get that nose on, but Ganuma outruns it and continues to stay in the rate. Now Koronoko has to extend away, get his speed back. He's back within rate band, but Ganuma's managed to get a lot of position on him. There's a heavy offset between the two of them. Koronoko trying to make it more severe as they pass by to maybe redefine this fight into the one, or at least neutralize it, but Ganuma's not having it. He's continuing to hold on to his speed and follow Koronoko's high 6. You can see as soon as he gets behind him like that, he goes ahead and he bleeds down. He knows he's not at optimal rate, and he's built up a very nice position over Koronoko in just those 3 turns. Very nicely done by Ganuma. Koronoko holding on to a little bit more airspeed, but with that extension, he's creating, a wider turn circle for himself, while Ganuma was holding a bit more consistent rate, bleeding in, trying to get that offset back. But there's so much range between him and Ganuma's so much further across the circle now that I don't think it's going to work out in his favor. He's going to have to either go vertical, up or down, and try to cut into his circle if he wants to do something like that. It looks like it's a slight spiraling climb as well. That's also going to affect his rate. He's still holding on to a bit more speed, but Ganuma's staying more consistent. You can see he's just following Koronoko's high 6 and continuing to raid around the circle. This is going to help Ganuma in the long run. He's continuously building position over Koronoko. Koronoko continuing to gain more and more speed. He's starting to bleed it down now, but the more of that he just builds up and doesn't use, you know, it's like having a bunch of money on a deserted island. You know, it's useless. You build up that energy, you have to use it. You can't just build up a bunch of speed, otherwise, you know, you're flying straight and the other guy gets right behind you. Ganuma more than comfortable with the position that he's in now. Like, he's probably got Koronoko sitting just above his canopy bow, just a little bit above the canopy bow. He's going to be settling into the assessment window within the next couple of turns. You can even see in Koronoko's screen how far behind Ganuma is. Pressure is definitely on for Koronoko to do something, and it's a good thing he's built up this altitude because he can use this to help him redefine, as well as all this airspeed. But again, he's making a circle super, super wide and making it easier on Ganuma to build that position on him. Ganuma more than happy to take part in it, though. He's recognizing that he's able to build a lot more speed and still build up position behind Koronoko. He knows that he's fast, but you know, it's hurting him. Koronoko having bled in, slight low yo-yo. Looks like he's settling in horizontally now. Ganuma sitting with a little bit more airspeed as they both start spiraling down. Koronoko's really got to start using his altitude for something here. He's got to try to do a rate radius or something, because Ganuma is hot on his heels, and if they hit the deck and he's still in this position, it's not going to last very long for him. Ganuma doing a good job of follow-on BFM, aiming for the high six and just following him down. He knows he doesn't have to pull in for the shot just yet. They got all this altitude. He wants Koronoko's options to be limited when he goes for that shot. He wants it to be stable. But he's doing a very, very good job of ensuring that he's going to have a good position when he goes for the kill. You know, patience is definitely a virtue in dogfighting. Ganuma's doing a very good job of exercising that right now. So both continue to spiral down towards the deck, halfway over water, halfway over land. You can actually see him off to our right. Ganuma continuing to build that position over Koronoko. Flaps were down, slight exertion from him. He knows he's getting closer to the deck, and Koronoko's options are going to become limited as soon as they hit it. Koronoko's still got an excessive amount of airspeed right now, though. It's making it much easier on Ganuma to put pressure on him because the circle's just too wide. Ganuma with a slight exertion again, introducing a little bit of a offset. Right, even though he's already offensive, he's going to try to set himself up to get a gunshot within the next turn or two. I'm willing to bet. Exertion, and now he's extending out. Small extension, right, creating just a little bit of angle off, but it's more than enough as he goes from lag to pure lead. Shots out, and he takes Koronoko down. Good job, Ganuma. Absolutely fantastic. Love to see it. All right, we are down to our final match for this block, or final matches, I should say. Ganuma, if you want to win the... Oh, okay, there he is. Ganuma, you're back up. If you want to win the block, you must win 2 times. Energy, you only need to win once. Gentlemen, go to your planes. Ganuma, pink. Energy, green.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And off they go. Again, Energy only needs to win once, and he will win the block. But if Ganuma can manage to win twice, he will be named the winner of the block. Honestly, overall, amazing performance out of both of these two, out of everybody today. A lot of unexpected surprises. Honestly, I think Shido, I honestly say you nominate you for Fight of the Night if nothing crazy happens in the finals, because that was spectacular. Into the merge.
Merge.
Energy with just a little more airspeed. Ganuma yanking in with Energy. Energy, quick snapshot. Doesn't look like they hit, though, as they both settle into the raid. Energy with a positional advantage and an energy advantage over Ganuma. Ganuma holding on to his speed. It looks like Energy's trying to pull in. Stuck in lag, though. Putting the pressure on Ganuma very, very early. Having a ton of airspeed to work with right now. But in this offset, he's got to be more than happy to be here. Flaps down. Another yank. Looks like he's going to be trapped in lag once again. Staying within optimal rate band, though. As he works his way around the circle, Ganuma doing a very good job of denying Energy lead. He comes around the circle, pre-flaring and jamming the Wez just in case he gets a missile shot off. As they both settle into the raid, Ganuma with a little bit more airspeed than Energy. But it's looking like Energy is doing a good job of maintaining that pressure on Ganuma. You can see, he's getting his nose on just slightly faster than Ganuma can. He's going to have to do something very quickly. Energy in with a high yo-yo. Ganuma following in response as they both go for another high aspect pass. Not nose to nose, but high aspect nonetheless. No joust just yet. Energy passing right behind the stands. Pulling in, trying to get that head on. Trying to get enough for lead, but Ganuma's doing a really good job of denying it. He's extending when Energy starts to bleed, and then bleeding as he starts getting a little bit closer. Denying him the lead he needs to get a shot off. Very good high aspect defensive defend by Ganuma. It doesn't look like Energy's contempt on giving up just yet. Still working his position around the circle into another high yo-yo. He's got that position to where he doesn't really have to worry about Ganuma yanking it just yet. Only to redefine the fight. Lift vector displacement staying in the raid, but I think maybe he was trying to exaggerate the offset with that vertical. I mean, if this continues, they're both just going to settle into a offset vertical rate. Energy keeping his lift vector into pure pursuit that time instead of lag or lead. Trying to cut into Ganuma's circle. Ganuma maintaining his speed, but I think Energy might try to shift this into a one circle the next turn or two, maybe. But Ganuma's not making it easy on him. He's even built up just a little bit of position, too. Neutralize the fight, holding on to his airspeed, while Energy continues to bleed, trying to cut into his circle. Honestly, good on Ganuma. He's setting himself up for success in the long run, and it's definitely paying off because now there's a big energy deficit between the two of them. Ganuma, having sat in rate band just a little bit longer, Energy's built himself back up, but with all those exertions that he was doing, Ganuma's managed to run away, give himself a bit of breathing room here. Actually, looks like he's got slight winning cues as well. We'll see how this develops. Both of them fairly aligned. They're off to our right if you want to watch it in real time. Forget the screens. The fight's happening right over there. Line each other up. I think Ganuma's starting to recognize where maybe he could pull in and exaggerate some offset and go for a gunshot the next turn or two. I say turn or two. I mean, it's going to be more than that, but you know what I mean? Both of them settled in, eyeing each other from across the circle. Fairly similar as far as speed goes, or at least sustained speed. I wouldn't wish it on him, but I mean, the odds that one of them hits that pole, that'd be pretty funny. Ganuma sitting at the lower end of rate band while Energy sits closer to the top. Both of them building up and exerting towards the more. And as soon as I say that, Energy builds back up and bleeds back down. One of the fun things about dogfighting is, everything changes very, very quickly. Or can change very, very quickly. It looks like Energy's managed to catch back up to Ganuma. Ganuma had a slight winning cues over Energy for a little bit, but now Energy's managed to reel him back in. Both of them coming down to their last third of fuel. Near last quarter, I should say. Over land and close to the runway, though, even if they run out of fuel, there's gonna be one of them, I'm willing to bet, that makes it to that runway, or both. Could always see that. We could see some Tom and Jerry stuff happen. That's always fun. I think one of the more humorous ones were the Griffin tournament that happened years ago. Or there was like a 30 to 40 minute fight. I want to say that was Ratasu and Jono that had that fight. Like they would just run for one. They would run from one runway and then to the other, and then they would turn back in and fight for a couple of minutes, and then they would do that again. Like whoever was offensive would be behind the other guy, but they would just go run to get fuel and then break line of sight on the cliffs in that world. Looks like Energy in the time when yapping has built a slight position. You can see he's moving slowly towards the rear of Ganuma's plane. He's looking for that offset, wanting to find a place where he could exaggerate and maybe go for a gunshot. See right here, he's starting a slow exertion. Now the offset's developing. He's going to extend, exert over and over and over until he can get enough for lead. See Ganuma move back and forth in his camera. Maybe not this one, but maybe the next one. Ganuma with some free flares. They're both about to run out of fuel. Energy climbing and cutting his burner at the same time. Ganuma staying on the burner. Well, he cut it after Energy, but now Energy's slotted in behind him. And it looks like the both of them are going to be going for the runway. Energy with a small burst of afterburner to get right behind Ganuma as he goes into the runway. And he kills him! He kills him!
You won the match, pilot. Return to base.
That's the gear down. And yeah, he's on the ground. He's made it to the runway. He's going to start getting fuel and ammo and everything else back. Good job, Energy. And absolutely fantastic fights from everybody here today. All right, so the following people, can I get you to the front? Energy, Ganuma, Koronoko, Shido, Ikazuchi. All right, there we go. That is our top 5 for today. You guys will all be progressing to finals today. When we go to drop the portal for it, I mean, if spectators, you're more than welcome to join. Just remember, stay at the spawn location. We're going to be there for a second. To set up the bracket and everything, and then we'll get the show on the road.